A 10-9 decision.
What stands out in a series that the U.S. has dominated 14-3, the last two meetings have gone to the Canadians. 15-10 back in 2006, 10-9 last Saturday. The U.S. is struggling to score against a very good Canadian defense.
Max Seabald to drive into the lane. Seabald with a pass inside. Chris Sanderson has that in goal for Canada. And the Canadians, who won this tournament back in 2006 on home turf in London, Ontario, and this man, Chris Sanderson, a remarkable story, persevering through his battle with cancer.
Diagnosed back in December of 2008, risking his life to play in this event. He has stopped chemotherapy and experimental drug treatment. His last MRI was in March. He's doing great. He played an exceptional lacrosse game against Team USA. He's been a huge inspiration for the entire Team Canada and their fans.
Canadians in no hurry to clear the midline. There are no restrictions in that regard with respect to the rules. There are some differences this outdoor game compared to college and Major League Lacrosse.
20-minute running time quarters. The last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, we'll play stop time. Overtime is 2 complete 4-minute periods. If still tied, we'll go to sudden victory. There are no 10-second counts, no clearing clocks, as you said. There's no shot clock, and all personal fouls are non-releasable. It is a slower-paced game, and the Canadians certainly like to grind and be patient with the ball on offense.
Sean Williams with it now, defended by Chris Schiller. At the top of the restraining box. So many of these Canadian players outstanding in box lacrosse, the indoor game, but they get acclimated to the difference in spacing very quickly. Dan Dawson on the run. Dawson had a 6-goal game in this tournament against Germany. Defended there by DJ Driscoll. Dawson turns the corner. Overcast day in Manchester. As Dawson sends this one wide, they sprint to the end line, and John Grant Jr. wins the ball on the backup for Team Canada in red.
There you see some of our rule differences. No 10-second counts or shot clock. All fouls non-releasable. Sean Nadalin shutting off John Grant Jr. on that last possession. Talking to Mike Pressler yesterday on Friday, said they will vary the looks.
Grant Jr. goes to goal, took an awkward tumble there. John Grant Jr., you'll remember, another player who has come back from an ACL injury. As Max Seabald jogs the clear for Team USA, we're looking for the first strike in the opening quarter of the FIL Championship game.
Talking to Mike Pressler, Team USA coach, he really emphasized the U.S. playing fast. They need to generate transition. If this game is played like an indoor lacrosse game, 6-on-6 at one end and 6-on-6 at the other, that really favors Team Canada as the U.S. is being whistled for an illegal substitution, change of possession.
When they do meet, the United States has had the upper hand, but not recently. Canada's won the last 2. Canadians in the red with Steinhaus in possession. Kevin Cassis begging for a call, and the ball gets turned back over to Team USA. Kevin Cassis a couple of games ago in transition, a hat trick against Team Japan.
Defensive midfielder out of Duke. I'll tell you what stands out so far. We've played almost 4 minutes. You see the nerves, tension coming to the surface. Everybody knew this would be the championship matchup, the most hyped international lacrosse game in the game's history.
Ryan Powell turning back. Powell looking to create. Ryan Boyle and Brendan Mundorf with him at the starting attack for head coach Mike Pressler.
Nice defense by Matt Vince.
Rabel to the left alley. Jump shot is high and wide of Chris Sanderson. Sanderson has had to adjust his game somewhat after the brain surgery of December of 08. It's influenced the right side of his body. Brendan Mundorf rolls topside and sends this one wide of the cage. Ryan Boyle will restart for USA.
Very impressed with Team Canada's close defense of John Sullivan, Matt Vince, and Mac Allen. 3 guys who play for the Toronto Nationals in Major League Lacrosse. They have a lot of field experience.
Ryan Boyle on his way to the goal. They're so good as Jordan Hall digs in defensively. They're so good they allow 45 in the red, Brody Merrill, to be on the hunt, chasing down double teams. Kyle Dixon on the sweep. Rolls back into Brody Merrill. Rabel switches the point of attack. Matt Strebel to the interior, fires and scores! Matt Strebel gets the USA off and running.
In pool play against Team Canada, 7 of the 9 USA goals came from the midfield. Nice little split dodge right to left, and Striebel puts himself dead center. He gets to a great spot. In pool play, the U.S. took 37 shots against Canada, only scored 9 goals. The key here is Striebel works hard to get himself a good angle, gets right in front of the goal, nails that low corner.
Jeff Snyder for Canada, Alex Smith for the United States at the face-off spot, and those two will likely have a huge impact on this game today. Smith wins the draw, and USA tries to put goals back-to-back.
That face-off was the big storyline of the 2006 championship game.
Zash from the outside, wide of Sanderson. Snyder, with his tremendous work in that tournament, turned out to be the tourney MVP.
Winning 40 of 55 draws in 2 games against Team USA's Doug Shanahan, Kyle Harrison, and company. So USA leaning heavily on Alex Smith out of Delaware.
Reigning Tewaaraton Trophy winner Ned Crotty on the ball for the United States. Formerly of Duke University, very good feeder. On top for Rabel off the roll dodge. Trouble there, right into the teeth of a double team.
Canada playing a zone defense. You see the midfield defenders down low. Dave Huntley showed his hand in the MLL All-Star game. It's a basic 3-3 zone.
And in this instance, Mike Pressler would prefer to have Ryan Boyle and Ryan Powell together against the zone. As Rabel moves to the alley, no shooting lane. Crotty kicks it up top. No running room for Mike Lavelle. Rabel from the outside scores! Paul Rabel, who's been the fire starter for Team USA.
Rabel from Mike Lavelle. The Canadian zone too condensed. They let Rabel step into about 14 yards, and he has the fastest shot on the planet, timed at 111 miles an hour at Major League Lacrosse's All-Star Showcase halftime, and that ball nearly tears a hole in the corner.
20 minutes of running time per quarter, nearing the 8-minute mark. Team USA on top by 2. Striebel and Rabel back-to-back for the United States. The Stars and Stripes, dressed in white, in Manchester, England.
The amount of procedure calls in this tournament has been eye-opening. It's a problem that plagues the game of lacrosse, whether it's the youth league level, high school, college, or even international. Procedure call against Jeff Snyder gives USA the ball.
Team USA will circle it up. Ryan Powell and Brendan Mundorf playing catch behind Chris Sanderson in nets for Canada. Matt Striebel started the scoring today, has to be music to his ears. Back in the 06 final, the 3-time World Championship performer was skunked. He didn't have a point against Canada. The Canadians winning that one 15-10. Striebel will invert, defended by Billy D. Smith. Works around the screen, bounces one. That ricochets away. Canadians did a nice job against Max Sebald a week ago. 42 in the white, was held pretty quiet.
Sebald not 100%. After having a big early game in this tournament, he's been fighting through a Charlie horse.
The Americans slow the tempo. Striebel on the dodge. Head coach Dave Huntley says these two teams are very, very similar. Canada's head coach says the differences are in the midfield. Mundorf fires, and that's stabbed by Sanderson. He saw it all the way.
The lefty out of Virginia played for the national championship back in 1996. Virginia losing in overtime to Princeton. The best field goalie in the history of Canadian lacrosse.
He is 19 months removed from brain surgery to remove a malignant tumor. With his type of cancer, Quint, the survival average is 9 to 12 months. He is an astonishing story.
He has said that this event has given him a goal, and the power of the mind. Getting support from his wife, Brogan, and his 2 daughters, Clementine and Stevie.
Corey Small on the go for Canada in red. Small defended by DJ Driscoll. 2-0 for the United States if you're just tuning in. Striebel and Rabel on the board as Team USA tries to get the World Championship title back. Brian Doherty makes that stop. Rebound there in a battle. Ball down on the ground. Ryan McClay pops up with it. Chased by Zach Greer, who's been battling through some dehydration after food poisoning.
Exceptional play by McClay.
Unsettled situation here, a sprint to the sideline. Ryan Powell able to goose it back in. They continue to dig for the ball. Ryan Boyle close by, and the officials, led by Don Lovett of Australia, say Team USA ball.
Two great examples of 50-50 ground balls. Both coaches, and we talked to him yesterday, pointing Ryan McClay wins one on the defensive end and great crossfield pass, and then the USA attack hustles and earns the possession. It's the little things that are going to determine a game, even in this elite content.
Approaching the 11-minute mark of the opening quarter, Jordan Hall running with Mike Lavelle. Mike Pressler, the head coach for Team USA, says this young man has done some phenomenal things both at midfield and attack in this tournament. Team USA 5-1 mark into this final. Rabel thought about it. Ryan Powell keeps it hot.
So we've seen this Team USA play in January against Duke. They lost. We've seen them play the MLL All-Stars. This is the sharpest their offenses look. Great ball movement. I love their spacing.
Lavelle attacked by Hall. Ryan Boyle turns in. Good defense by young Ryan McClellan, who played recently at Colgate. Boyle's pass, good catch. Mundorf fires. Sanderson with a better save.
Nice look by Boyle. Mundorf, a natural lefty, let that one go right-handed. Sanderson slid his feet, took that one off the midsection.
Chris Sanderson, 36 years old, 4 times for him now in the World Championship tournament, and twice voted the best goalie at a World Championship.
What he has done is remarkable. Reading his blog this week, he says his legs, his body covered with bruises. The day off prior to this event, he said he needed it.
Vince working it back for Sanderson. Vince in his own right in the indoor game is a very good goalie.
This is the aspect of international lacrosse that reminds me of college lacrosse back in the 80s and 90s. With no clearing count, it allows you to fully substitute and get organized. A much slower pace. You should clear the ball every single time.
Both of these teams have very good assistant coaches working their respective team benches.
Dave Huntley talked about the impact that Randy Mearns, head coach at Canisius, and Taylor Ray, an assistant at Lehigh, have had in terms of practices and scouting reports.
Mark Steinhaus, 29 years old, St. Catharines, Ontario. On a sweep. Steinhaus ran into trouble. From the outside, this Whistler stabbed by Brian Doherty. He wants to transition. The United States wants to run. Doherty looking for his good buddy Kyle Sweeney, back from their days together in Major League Lacrosse in Philadelphia, but that pass goes awry.
Mike Pressler saying we want to play fast. As you take a look at Dave Huntley, former member of Team Canada back in 1978, a Hall of Famer at Johns Hopkins University, says we initiate our offense with a pick. The U.S. initiates offense with a dodge. Canadians like to use the pick.
John Grant Jr. butting in. Grant Jr. pawns it off for Steinhaus. His rocket on the way, and Brian Doherty is sharp as a tack in the first 14 minutes.
3 stops for Doc, who was not his best in pool play against Canada. Mike Pressler said Doc felt he could have had 3 or 4 of the Canadian goals.
Doherty already with 3 stops. Team USA has given him a 2-0 advantage. 2 backstop. Strebel and Rabel on the board before the game was 10 minutes old. And Ryan Boyle, the coordinator, the conductor of this offense, bringing the game to a tempo that he likes.
Shooting percentage, such a key stat. Canada shooting 10 of 24 in that win. If U.S. only shooting 9 of 37. But the quality of shots.
If Canada gets its wish, they'll put a short stick on Boyle.
They have been doing that all game.
Zash looking to go to the goal. Jordan Hall is there with him.
You have to double pole guys like Seabold, Strebel, Rabel, Dixon.
Mundorf working around a screen set by his Denver Outlaws teammate in Major League Lacrosse, Drew Westervelt. The pass for Zash. Zash tracks it down, gets more of an offensive role with the national team than he does during his normal outdoor pro days. Westervelt has 12 goals in this tournament. Fires! That one's off the shoulder of Sanderson and ricocheted off the frame of the net.
Team Canada player down, and this is bad. This is, Westervelt puts pressure on the corner, and you hate to see this.
Trainers out to 10 to the fallen Billy D. Smith, another St. Catharines, Ontario native.